All right. Let me turn this down here. Welcome, 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 my bows and bow ties. All right, so look, the topic is regarding the legacy of some of our Black men who have had problematic behavior. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw my intro on real quick so I can allow a couple other people get situated. Okay. Wow. Let me mute this for a second. Okay, let me see. I always do this. What is up with the technical difficulties at the last second? All right, so look, I got my house robe on top of my normal clothes. I am not naked underneath here, guys. So yeah, the topic is really about our Black men and separating. Do we even want to separate their legacy from the problematic behavior? I'm going to add some people to the live stream. Welcome, CBR Kid and
Hey,
Candy. It's
Pasa.
been a minute. Welcome back, Candy. It's good to see you. So, I'm going to try to keep this under an hour because I'm really tired. You guys can see the raccoon eyes. It's been like a long day. Uh, I still have an echo.
A little bit.
Oh, why am I so tacky? Hold on a second. What about now? I can hear it too. Oh,
Yep.
what is that?
Pretty
Okay,
nice.
this is the question. Does anybody have a YouTube window open? That will cause there to be an echo.
I I
I'm
had a
double
YouTube
checking all
window
my
open, but I
browsers.
didn't have anything playing.
Let me check.
So I definitely, is it me? I don't see one. What is up? Let me see. Hold on. How's that? Is that still showing? It's good?
Yeah, okay.
No. Oh my gosh. Hold on. All right. How's that?
That's better.
Always me. Let me see. Is there an echo now?
No.
All right. I figured it out. I had to mute one. All right. So, all right, let's get back to me yapping and not being tacky. All right. So, what I wanted to do was, I just wanted to get straight to the point. I think these guys are supposed to join in a little bit, but I'm not going to wait. I'm just going to get started. It's about 8:51. I want to be done before 10 o'clock. So, this is the thing. I have three main questions. Okay, so again, the topic is on can we separate the legacy from these? There's these great men, they did wonderful things, but can we separate the legacy from the problematic behavior? That's going to be the first question. Can we separate the behavior from, I'm sorry, the legacy from the problematic behavior? And before you start talking, I'm going to put my banner up that says anyone who was coming on here is a willing participant. You know how I am. So
Yeah, I've
you're
had
probably
it
like,
just
why do I have two cameras? Because sometimes my video, for whatever reasons, I'm still experimenting with this new camera, which I still don't think is, I don't know. Anyway, all right. So can we separate the legacy from the alleged crime? Now, I wrote down just a couple of quick facts about the three people you saw in the thumbnail. I should probably bring that up so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Let me bring that up. This is what happens when you're not prepared because you're thinking, maybe I should just go to sleep because I'm so tired. Give me 2 seconds here. It downloads. Okay. Come on, come on. All right. Now, what I did was I wrote three things. Share my screen here. Sorry, I'm using screen here. It's like you gotta take 500 steps to get it to show.
there you go.
I'm like, All right, you guys see that? I'm gonna put that like this for.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Nope, that's not it. Is that better? Okay. Man. All right. So this is what I did. I was looking at Bill Cosby, right? He has a doctorate of education from the University of Massachusetts in 1977. That's like a year after I was born. So
Right.
he's been around a long time. He was inducted into TV Hall of Fame in 1984. He has 8 Grammys. He's the author of the bestseller book Fatherhood. He's also known as America's Dad. Okay. He has also let me bring this back here. He was but he was also convicted in 2018. Okay. But then they vacated his conviction in June of this year in 2021. So I looked at what does it mean to vacate someone's conviction, and it basically says um, the verdict is withdrawn, and you can actually say you were never convicted of a crime. Okay, so I did not know that up until about a few minutes ago. No, my cat did not just push my door open. Yo, this is some situation. All right, let me. So, what do you guys think about that, Bill Cosby? I'm gonna mute myself and cam up for a second because I got to get my cat out.
Wait, we want to see the diva cat. So Bill Cosby. I don't know. Well, he was one of those cases where I kind of thought I don't know. I don't know what people were doing in the 80s. I was 10 years old in 86. So
Well, they weren't drugging women like that.
yeah. So I heard I believe I can't remember who it was, but I heard somebody, it was some other celebrity was like, look, in the 80s we did quaaludes, we did all that stuff, and that was just kind of what we did. I just found it kind of odd that 40 years later, now this man assaulted you. I'm like, that makes no sense to me. I'm like, you should have been, you could have said something a long time ago. But regardless of that, that's a whole nother discussion. Regardless of whatever his misdeeds
Is
were,
it? Is it? Is it another discussion? Can you
it
separate
well,
from what he did? I mean,
I can, but I think most people don't have the emotional intelligence to separate. So it's like who Bill Cosby, the off-camera guy, was. He made clearly was some type of asshole or jerk or whatever, but it doesn't take away from the countless number of people who went to college just because of they thought Hillman was real, or of what Hillman represented. I can't take away the millions upon millions of dollars he donated to different schools. I know he donated a lot of money to Temple. I can't take away that to this day you could turn on the Cosby Show and he's always wearing somebody. I saw Morgan sweatshirt. I saw Howard, Tuskegee, Fordham, so promoting these schools on his show, and all the other good stuff that he did. You can't say that wasn't done because it was. So all the good stuff was done regardless of what he was doing in the shadows. So but I
so
don't think.
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I just think most people can't. They just can't, for whatever reason, they can't separate those two things. To me, they're two different things.
Well, I can separate them. I mean, I can separate them, but I think if he was doing these things while he was doing all those things, I don't think you should separate them. I think that you can donate money to Temple and be a rapist at the same.
Sure.
You can, you can have your honorary degrees, speak in front of millions of people and bring a whole culture into, a college atmosphere and still be somebody who is a date raper, and
Hmm.
that means that he it was him above all else. I mean, that's how I see Bill. It was
Yeah.
him over his wife, him over his, family, him over his career.
Hmm.
It was about him, and that's the ego. And so I don't know what to say for Bill. I enjoyed the Cosby Show, but if I would have known he was raping women, you know, during the Cosby Show, would I have enjoyed it as much? I mean, I kind of look at Felicia Rashad's side eye because I'm like, okay, this is accountability here. And is it accountability because of the amount of weight and money you carry, the amount of prestige you carry? Or are you just a man and you're accountable for your actions? And are you just a woman and accountable for your actions? I mean, I remember when the Bill Cosby thing was going on, and they said the reason why they unsealed his case is because he spoke in front of, the university and told the boys to pull up their pants and, said all these things to these youth, these youth
Mhm.
men and women, and the judge, and I could be wrong, but this is what I read. The judge had decided if he could pass judgment on them, then they could see what, was going on with him in his case. And so it was unsealed. And I think that's the reason his case got overturned because it was supposed to be, that was supposed
Seal period. Yeah.
you know,
There
and
was no legal reason to unseal it.
yeah, it was no legal reason. It was just only, I don't know if the judge was a her or him or whatever.
Yeah.
But I do find that part odd, that they held him accountable to different standards and they would hold any other man of his caliber and status accountable. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about is his image tarnished because he, was America's dad. Well, I don't want my dad to be a rapist. And if my dad had,
Well, I say, well, my thing on that is Bill Cosby played a character that was America's dad. Cliff Huxtable was not Bill Cosby. Cliff Huxtable was just a character that he played. And so, Cliff Huxtable is America's dad. Bill Cosby is somebody else.
but
They're two different.
I remember some of the characters. I can't get all their names right now, but some of the characters would say how strict Bill Cosby was
Mhm.
on the set, that he made
Mhm.
them do the schooling, do the
Yeah.
work, all this. But I find it really odd in people that they only reveal one side of themselves. I don't think that, he's going to come out and say, I do this. I like
Mhm.
women, but I don't like them to remember me in the morning. I think
Oh shoot.
I'm gonna look. I don't dislike Bill Cosby. It's just that I find it odd that he had all this status and he had all this power, and people around him knew a lot of these things were going on. And I just find it odd that he would chastise and point fingers when he knew that all the time he didn't want a woman to remember his name the next day, next hour.
So here's a question: is that any different from, let's say, what people's parents do? They teach you to do all the right things, although they may not be doing the right things. They know what the right things are, and they don't want their child or children or whoever to do the wrong things, even though they are. It's the whole "do what I say, not do what I do" mentality.
If my parent is smoking a cigarette, that's one thing. If my dad is going out and drugging women,
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm just talking
it's because do the right thing.
analogous,
But
right?
it's subjective. When you're talking about do the right thing, I do not look at black men or anything like they would do the extent of the wrong thing that Bill
That
Cosby.
Bill Cosby did,
I
yeah.
don't look at it at all. I don't look at any man thinking that he's going to do the extent that Bill Cosby did. To me, that is very, very odd. With that amount of money, that amount of prestige, that amount of backing behind you, I mean,
Sure.
you could get it however you want it. I'm
Yeah.
I'm confused about it. I don't understand it.
I, I don't either. I
I
mean
mean,
that.
there
I mean,
bestiality involved. I'm trying to. Is there something different going on
I
here?
don't know. It
You should have invited me to this live.
so it actually make it. And so I mean, it actually makes me think about well, different situation, but the same thing as Darren Sharper used to play for the New Orleans Saints. He's got rape case. Well, he's in jail now, but he actually was flat out raping women, not drugging them, but just flat out raping them, and for no apparent reason. It's just like, dude, why are you doing this in 3 different states? And I think we talked about this one time. I've seen comments from women who looked at him and like, I would give it to him. All he had to do was ask. So why are you raping women? I don't know what that's all about.
I don't understand it. And I think if any person who can shift to the person and say, okay, well, Bill Cosby was this, this, and this, I don't think it makes sense in their head. Okay, so wait a minute. You gonna drug me? I mean,
Right.
you're not even gonna ask me? Because I might say yeah, but you're not even gonna ask. Okay.
So this is the thing. This is what I was gonna say. So I was gonna put up some other people, but I chose these three because I knew it would like invoke like a very visceral reaction, right?
Mhm.
For a variety of different reasons. Like when I texted to several people, it was like it was just, everyone was like setting it off. But I could have chosen um, another person who's no longer here, Eddie Long. Okay.
Oh, Bishop
Oh,
Eddie.
that would have been a good one.
This dude.
I could have chosen someone who's alive. I could have chosen another sports figure. I could have chosen, was it Ray Rice? No. The one who,
The elevator.
Ray
yeah.
Rice. That was Ray Rice.
Yeah. Or what about the other one? I think he played for the Ravens. It might have been Ray Rice, but the
Ray
guy,
Rice played for the Ravens.
what about the other one? Didn't he like beat the, but okay, there's plenty of this to go around. Like these people who are a great talent in whether it's a sport or
Mm,
entertainment or cut from the cloth,
right.
right?
Well, I mean,
A singer or whatever. I, I guess what I was saying is I chose to leave off Eddie Long because oftentimes people hold people who are cut from the cloth to a higher standard. But I'm like, but he is just a man.
I was gonna say what it says to me is it doesn't matter what your profession is, how famous you are, how much money you have, so on and so forth. At the end of the day, you're still just a regular old person subject to the same problems and issues and hang-ups and mental problems that everybody else has. You just happen to have a very public, high-paying job.
Well, on top of that, it's that you're telling people these are people, I mean, despite R. Kelly and Kobe, I don't know if they really told people how to live and how to
Nah,
be. But Bill Cosby definitely, and Eddie
did.
Long definitely would leave your testimony at the altar, leave your cross to bear. I went to New Birth when Eddie Long was there.
Well, did
So I mean, it's just some things are just weird to me. It doesn't have to be weird to anybody else. I know people who heard all kind of allegations about people, and they still put in
Roll with 'em.
110%.
Mhm.
But with Bill Cosby, I just, I mean, I have to draw a line in the sand because I would have to say if it was me, you're starting to think as a woman, am I delusional? Did this really happen? What's going on? This, that, the other. You start telling other people. It, I mean, they seemed like it was an unspoken thing that they knew about in his circle. So I don't I don't necessarily, that's why I kind of look at his wife and Felicia. I understand stand by your man, but I'm like, you guys take stand by your man to a whole nother level.
Well, can I say something real quick? So
Oh yeah, come
back
in.
in the day, I'm sorry.
Come on in, JC.
Oh
JC.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So back in the day in the '60s and '70s, that was a known thing, right? I think the whole issue with Bill Cosby, well, in society as a whole, I think if we will be honest, I think people were giving him a pass to what he was doing in the '60s and '70s because everyone did the Quelo and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even born then, but I think the problem with Bill Cosby and R. Kelly, this was they did their they kept doing it into the 1990s and 2000s. You know, when the Me Too movement and all that, human not human rights, but female rights has really take hold. So I think that was biggest. That was the biggest issue. I think if Bill Cosby didn't do what he did in the 2000s or the late 90s, I think no one would have cared. But because he kept going on, as a I hate to say it, dirty old man still doing it, I think that was the problem. That's why other
I
people
ain't
got a
change a
pass
thing.
because they did it back in the '60s and '70s when it was a thing. You get what I'm saying? Anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Well, let me chime in there. I would say, for the most part, I agree with you. But I mean, when you start crossing the racial lines, then I don't know if that really holds true because you got Jeffrey Epstein and Weinstein and all of them that were like clowning, and I think they were doing it well on into.
Well, they have charges though. I mean, we can't say that they have charges pending. They're not fully off the hook yet, right? I
Jeffrey
know
Epstein was convicted and
he
went to
killed
jail.
himself, but
And he
Weinstein is
suicide.
Right.
Okay. I said,
Inmates got to his ass.
yeah. I think Weinstein was convicted.
he was convicted. That's what I'm saying. Because that was in 2000. That's
That's not,
he did this. I'm sorry, huh?
well, but not everybody was convicted of anything. Matt Lauer. I mean, we can go on and on. Kevin Bacon. No.
Space.
Kevin
Kevin Spacey.
Spacey. The CBS guy, Les Moonves or whatever. We can go on and on and on. I mean, like that stuff didn't stop. It's just really difficult to bring them down. But you do bring up a really good point where, Bill was just clowning. It's just like, yeah, I'm gonna keep on doing it,
He kept doing it. Yeah, I think that was his problem. He just kept doing it. I don't know. He should have just shut out.
I mean, so I'm gonna read these stats for a second. 3 Grammys for I Believe I Can Fly. I'm gonna mute you, JC. Step in the Name of Love. Singer, songwriter, producer. The 27th of September of this year, was convicted of sex trafficking and racketeering, and that was R. Kelly. So, another great talent, has a legacy, a gigantic body of work, but has problematic behavior. But this time he likes them young and underage. But it's still a sex crime. So
I can't figure out the young and underage thing with him, but I mean I think it's a bit of a difference between him and Cosby because of Bill Cosby's message or whatever. R. Kelly just happened to be this genius at music, but he had this dark side, of course he had this dark side. Now he's paying the price for that.
But he was dark side. I mean,
but what I mean is the difference is Bill Cosby was publicly preaching, do the right thing, morality. We got to do this. Black community, we need to do this. Black people, y'all need to do that. We need to go to school. He was preaching all these correct things, and then in the shadows doing the wrong thing. R. Kelly never preached anything. R. Kelly was just a dirty dude, so he's getting what he deserves.
But the deed was dirty, whether he preached it or not. The deed was dirty.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm not saying the deed. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's a little bit different because R. Kelly was just a dirty dude, period, and there was nothing else to it. Okay. So I don't think anybody cares that R. Kelly went. Nobody's going to defend R. Kelly. Nobody's, people will defend Bill Cosby. Nobody's going to defend R. Kelly. I think it's a kind of a unanimous, hey, man, you get what you get. Hopefully they bend you over in jail and give you some of what you gave those young girls. But that's a whole
I think
matter.
the Felicia Rashads of the world and things like that would defend Bill Cosby and not defend R. Kelly.
Yeah,
but
that's what I mean.
Yes, I definitely agree with you there. However, I think that R. Kelly is more... I just agree with your I agree with your total assessment of what R. Kelly was doing. R. Kelly was living his life and he was always that individual. Now, to the death of what R. Kelly was doing, I don't.
I mean, if you think about it, people turned a blind eye to it. The dude married Aaliyah when she was 15? He was a grown ass man. So we knew then. I think JC's saying something. He's on mute though.
Yeah, but I don't know if people turned a blind eye to it as in tune of people. It just wasn't all over the media like that. I'm sure her parents and the people in their circle was like, what's going on? This is a grown man. I think anybody who has daughters or who has young kids would not have their kids around R. Kelly or anybody like R. Kelly.
Can I ask you, why are we blaming the parents of those kids with R. Kelly? Not the kids, but the 20-year-olds. Because from my understanding of that whole case, the parents knew that their daughters were with R. Kelly. You get what I mean? Like, they were co-signing on that.
Well,
you get what I mean?
Honest, I was going to actually jump in on that and say, like, for those who were underage, I do blame the parents. I flat out do blame the parents. Unless your child was emancipated or was of the age of consent, I most certainly do blame the parents. But I wanted to hear everybody's
Okay.
position because sometimes you can hear things or learn things and give you a perspective that you haven't thought of. But maybe because I have 500 kids, I'm like, there's no reason some grown man needs to be humping on my daughter.
Well, let me ask you guys
They were
this.
chasing the money.
Well, this is
Chasing
what
the
I
money.
don't understand. It gave me the perception that they were like, these girls were young, but they were wild.
So
That's
what?
what the media gave me the perception of with R. Kelly. I don't know if that's the perception that everybody else got, but every time I heard the story, it was like, yeah, but she was 14, but she was like this, or she was 15 and she was like
She was
this.
16. She was 16.
Whether
Let's
she
just
was
get it
four,
right.
but whether she was
Yeah, so
14, 15 to 16, he was a
yeah,
grown ass man.
on her. Yeah, she was 14 a while, but yeah, so you know what? She must like the media
That
is out of control.
that makes no sense to me. I'm like, if I
That
saw four,
didn't age well at all.
I'm like,
Hey, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Did we cut Kobe out of that meme, Asia? Did you cut Kobe out or no?
No, that's
no,
coming up.
he's still there.
I know you were like,
Ah, we're not ready for that one. I don't agree with Kobe being in that meme. That's all I want to say. That's all I want to say.
well, I guess you
That's
want
all I want to say right now.
let's get
You
right.
see how people pass over R. Kelly?
I know we can circle back.
Kobe does not need to be in this conversation. I'm just letting y'all know right now, and y'all know y'all wrong. That's all I want to say.
Hold on.
Uh,
5 NBA championships, 12-time all defensive team, 2008 NBA MVP, 2-time NBA Finals MVP, and
I know.
his crime was alleged.
Not in this conversation. That's fucked up. That's fucked
It
up.
was alleged.
yeah,
I
Kobe was.
just want to
I
finish.
don't want to say. That's all I want to say. I don't agree with that.
Don't forget, I think he won an Oscar too.
It was alleged that he was about. Now go ahead, jump in. Now I knew this was gonna get y'all fired up because I was like, "Ooh, he's gone from here."
Told you that. It's not right. Let me tell you why it's not right. I'll be honest with you. He didn't get convicted. Okay, he cheated on his wife. Okay. And I don't think he needs to be in the same picture of R. Kelly and Bill Cosby. That's just wrong. And y'all know I'm right. Y'all, you laughing, brother. You know I'm right.
Because I
know I'm
know
right.
I
You
was,
know
I
I'm
was
right.
well, I was kind of thinking the same thing. I'm not like when
I
that whole
know you
situation.
were thinking the same thing.
When that whole situation happened, I was like, Kobe's like, look, yeah, I did what I did, but I did
man.
not rape that girl.
Right, he was
honestly,
banging it.
I don't know why I believe him. I was mad at him because when I saw the girl, I was like, you cheated on your wife for her.
If you're gonna mess up, it got to be like
I saw the look on your face.
That's the outrage.
Well, no, because I didn't believe that he actually raped that girl. I felt like he might have did her dirty, but I don't think he raped her. Like
I agree.
Now
I
I'm
agree.
asking why not?
What do you mean? Why not?
I'm asking why do you think? Well,
Because he don't have a pattern. Okay, Bill Cosby and R. Kelly has a history of that.
Hold on. The question is, we are not going to conflate them two. We're going to hold Kobe within his own standard. Why do you think it is not possible that Kobe could not?
I didn't say it wasn't possible. I just said I don't believe that he did that. I don't believe that he raped her.
Why?
To be honest, I don't have a reason that would make any logical sense. It's just one of those things where I feel like, okay, I feel like he cheated on his wife. I feel like I believe he had sex with the woman, but I believe he probably just did her dirty and it went the way it went. But I don't know. There's just for some reason, at the time, and this is not in hindsight, this is how I felt at the time, and it's just never changed. I just never thought that he raped that girl.
He didn't come off like a stupid person. Okay, that's my reason. Okay, for him to have everything under his, how can I say this?
in
I
fact,
don't.
while you're getting your thoughts together, I give you a flip side example. There was a case here in Baltimore where a police officer that I know personally was accused of raping this girl, and immediately I was like, he did it. I knew he did it. And just because I knew that, because I know him, and I'm like, I knew it. I know he did it. I don't need a shred of evidence to know he did it. And everybody who knew him knew that he did it. Although in a court of law, he got off. But it's just something that I just knew. So on the flip side, it's like I just believe that he did that, and I don't have a logical reason for that. It's just, and it's just one. Just I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it logically to make it make any sense.
Well, it goes back to Eddie Long. He's gone from here now. Like I said, now I knew what I was doing when I put Kobe up there, because that's the first thing that people were going to do. Be like, he said we can't discuss his legacy, blah blah blah.
Yes, we can too.
But it could be Eddie Long. It could be anyone who's no longer.
Yeah, sure.
Just like, and I was like, okay, I could have chosen a different sports figure. I could have chosen
Sure.
Ray Rice. I could have. You see where I'm going, right? But
Sure.
I knew that one was going to be a little on the spicy side, because the question isn't whether he did it. The question is, does his problematic behavior, because whether he raped someone or not, the behavior was still problematic.
Problematic, yeah.
Number two, does that preclude us from discussing legacy? So, and that's why I put it up there, because I knew people were like, you don't know. And I'm like, that's not actually the topic. It's not.
I think old girl said a soft no, and Kobe was like, I'm Kobe. You're not saying no to me. That's my take on it.
That's where I'm at with it. I'll tell you the reason why. Anybody I know that has done, I mean, I know you've participated in sports. I'm talking to UCB myself. I participate in sports. So, like, especially when you're around like these elite athletes, they have been coddled and told that they were the best, and have been given. My husband played a Division I sport in college. So, when you're used to having any and everything and you're not told no. So do I believe it's probably possible he did what he wanted to do? Yes. Number two, I do think it is possible that he's done it more than once. There is a history of silencing in a lot of these environments. Now, I have my ticker up here for a region. Oh my God. Always have to get my ticker. But the point I'm making is,
so let me ask you this. Why you guys refresh my memory. From my understanding, she brought charges. I mean, the prosecution brought charges to Kobe. They dropped it because of what?
I don't even remember, but if that's the case,
exactly, because it wasn't true.
Dropped it.
Hold on. We can say the same thing about Bill Cosby, because they vacated it. They vacated.
No, I'm saying the woman that accused Kobe got to court, right? Why didn't he get a conviction? Why didn't he go to trial? Why didn't he get something? I can't remember what happened. I'm pretty sure. I thought they dropped the whole thing, from my understanding. I can't remember. I honestly can't remember.
I really don't remember.
So that's why I'm saying he don't need to be in the meme. You put him in the meme, you don't even remember.
First of all, we can say that about anybody who's ever been to court and that's black. And why were they convicted? Why were they not convicted? Doesn't mean that however they ruled was right or true. All I'm saying is entirely.
All I'm saying is Bill Cosby, R. Kelly has documented proof that they did some foul shit, right? I'm sorry. Can we curse? I'm sorry.
We're trying not to. According to law, Bill Cosby's conviction has been vacated, and it says that he can now say he has never been convicted.
Okay.
According to law.
Okay, I get you.
Right?
I get you.
Yeah, I'm splitting hairs. Who knows? That girl could have been paid off.
Well, we haven't heard from her. Kobe has passed. We haven't heard a peep from her. I think it was settled out of court. But my thing is I don't like the way they try to paint women, because I remember watching part of that trial and they said, oh, she had different, I don't know if I can say the word.
She just had sex with a guy before him. Yes, I know that. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. He had semen in the paintings twice, 2 different semens in the painting.
Yes, they said that. And I was like, okay. Now,
It It could have been anything. It could have
But
been.
it could have been anything. Let's believe Kobe, even though she had two different men semen in the panties. But let's not believe Kobe. Come on now, come on,
But
I'm
come on,
just saying
come on.
anything could happen.
Let's be real. Let's be real.
Being real, but I'm going to be honest. Look, my perspective is probably not going to be yours, and I'm not saying he did it. All I'm saying is, does death preclude us from talking about legacy, not crime, not alleged crime?
In my opinion, Kobe's legacy is solid. Period. That's my opinion, and that's all I'm gonna say. I don't think
well,
that issue has fucked his
he's-
legacy. Messed his legacy. Excuse me. Let's mess his legacy up. Legacy up. In my opinion.
If you think about what is legacy, it's pretty much what you leave behind, once everything's said and done, once you're gone.
Okay.
And then in terms of his legacy, he's got his legacy on the basketball court, which is unquestioned, undenied. We don't have to talk about that. Then what is his legacy off the court? I don't, as far as his business acumen, unquestioned, undenied. Left behind, what he left behind to take care of his family, his kids, so on and so forth, unquestioned, undenied. Who he was as a man, I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't even know what they tell me about Kobe. I only know what I read in the media about Kobe.
If we're going to use that, then we're going to be consistent and say the same thing for the genius of R. Kelly. Who he is outside of entertainment is, I don't know.
Well, we know a little bit more because we know he did. We got him on video doing what he did.
Yeah, he had video, right? Good point.
We got R. Kelly on video doing what he did. So
right, it's just the evidence that in the Kobe case, me personally on Kobe's side, the woman, like I said. The woman, from my understanding, her evidence had different. She was speaking with different men the same night. You get what I mean?
That's not a crime. That's not a crime. You guys do it all the time.
It's not a crime. My.
Not okay. How about this? Like I said, okay, I'm going to give you an example. When I was in college, I was in a co-ed dorm. He says he's trying to log on, but I see him in. I
see him too.
Yeah, I'm like, I see you. I'm like, why you are in? I'm not sure why D. Shabazz is not. He'll chime in eventually because he's definitely in. I added him to the stream. So check this out. When I was in college, undergrad, I was in a co-ed dorm. Yeah. Now there weren't that many of us, but there was some women. But I went to an engineering school. For those of you who don't know, it was primarily all white engineering. Okay. Right now, I hear you. So look, I went to it was like a Friday night. It was like we had a floor that was for the women.
Okay.
And I go to the bathroom and I see this girl. I'm not going to say her name because in case somebody knows me and they're like, we're just going to call her Mary. I see Mary on the floor in the shower with her pants down.
Crazy.
Okay, now I want you to listen for a second. Her pants are down, and she's not really responsive. Now,
oh my God,
I don't know what this means. I'm like,
you call 911?
At first, I didn't do anything. So I'm looking. I'm like, Mary. What? I'm thinking maybe she's just drunk. Now, her sorority sisters just happened to come in there, and they're looking at me, and I'm looking at them, and I'm looking at her. And all I know was they pulled up her pants. They got her up and smacked her a couple times, and eventually she came to, but not really. And they dragged her out of the bathroom. I saw her maybe it was 2 days later. I can't remember.
Wait, was a guy in the bathroom? Was a guy in the bathroom?
I didn't see a thing. What I do know was she was lying on the floor with shower water coming off.
She was drunk. Come on, she was drunk, ain't she?
With her pants down. I don't know.
I've been drunk. Come on.
Hold on. Let me finish. I don't know how many people may or may not have gone through this.
Oh, okay.
She have participated in something earlier, but all I know is when she was in the bathroom,
So you think Kobe's accuser was raped twice by two different men?
I never said that. What I'm saying is, if you're saying that there's two samples That the first sample could have been consensual. She could have done anything. The second time, maybe she was going to be some sort of jump off or something, like a group. We went there and decided differently. I don't know. I'm not saying anything. I don't even believe it. I'm just saying I have seen things.
If I commit a crime, I want you as my jury. That's all I want to say.
Look, I get it. I know
That's all I want to say.
people feel strongly, and I get it. I get it. What all I'm saying is these athletes have not been told no. And a
I
lot
guess
of times people think it's because it's Kobe. There's no way. He's a good guy.
No, well,
What?
that's not what I said. I'm saying based on what I learned about the accuser is why I am on Kobe. If she was like, unfortunately, credibility matters. I hate to say this, and it sounds wrong, but credibility matters when it comes to that type of accusation. Let me explain. Let me just be honest with you. I love the Me Too movement. It's positive. You know, we're holding people accountable, but you can weaponize the Me Too movement. You get what I mean? And what I mean by that, you know, no, you know what I mean by that. You can weaponize that. Okay. Like it or not, Kobe was a very stand-up black guy, you know, doing his thing, family, whatever. You can weaponize the accusation and then just destroy his legacy. So when I'm defending Kobe,
No, you
let me
guys
just, 10 more seconds. So when I defend Kobe, I'm simply trying to give him the benefit of the doubt because historically black men have not been given the benefit of the doubt based on an accuser. So that's why and you know what I'm saying, and unfortunately her credibility kind of shot it with me. So therefore I'm leaning to Kobe because we haven't had that historically as black men as far as getting the benefit of the doubt. I'm giving Kobe the benefit of the doubt based on what I knew about what I learned about her and her lifestyle and what happened.
Okay, so Kobe
Yeah.
was in the hotel healing for his injury, right? He was
Yeah.
in the hotel healing for his injury. And so what we know about Kobe is kind of what we see, unless people have met him personally and chilled with him and know his, roundabout. So I take that at face value. Kobe could be a straight up stone cold,
Well,
You're right.
it's
Dexter or
ironic
something
that
like Dexter.
it's
Dexter
ironic that
Morgan.
you say that because I do know one person who has met Kobe, hung around him, and it was funny because it was when LeBron James was new into the NBA, and I was surprised because she told me Kobe was very nice and LeBron was an ass.
Okay.
So,
but we're not talking about their character.
I mean, this.
Well, he's just making an example of the character. That's all.
Yeah, but I don't. My thing is, I care about when you go that extra step with somebody if they have the
Sure.
respect and wherewithal and
Sure.
the respect of you as a human being to say no. I understand your boundaries.
Well,
and
let's go.
but
Let's. Can I interject
Go ahead.
on this?
Yeah. You know you have a delay again. Hello? All right. Well, while he gets his audio together, like, look, up until a few years ago, Bill Cosby was Pudding Pop Man.
That's true. That's a good point. I get you. I know where you're going.
I mean, but now suddenly what Candy said, like, people can't remember stuff. I mean, like,
Right.
Yeah.
like he was Pudding Pop Man. So
That's a good point.
all I'm saying is,
That's a good point. But he dead now. Kobe is dead. That's the problem I had.
Okay. Oh,
He dead.
all right.
He can't
That's
defend
me.
himself.
Yeah, my point is we got from a historical point of view. White women lie,
Right.
particularly when it
Right.
comes to
Right.
particularly when
you guys
it
still
comes
like
to
them,
talking
so
about
let's
black men,
press.
knowing white women lying or white girls lying on black men,
Exactly.
going down to the time of the so-called kissing game to also Emmett Till. So,
Did we lose? Did we lose Deisha Valley?
Uh,
I think we lost him.
Come on,
He's
DC.
in and
So
out.
bad. You had every black woman's ear that's listening.
I know. I'm trying
You
to.
made a good point about historical. That's what I'm saying. Historical reasons for my bias. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so we got to look. We got to put
Yeah.
that into context. The historical aspect
Right.
of the interaction of white.
I mean, we preach all day about Emmett Hill and all that, but soon
So,
Kobe get accused. Everybody against Kobe.
Say it again now.
I said we talk about Emmett Hill all the time. I'm sorry.
Emmett Till.
Yeah, Emmett Till. But
Emmett
soon
Till.
Kobe get accused. Everybody against Kobe. Like we don't know the history. That's our problem as black people, bro. You know, we forget about historical
Well, I mean,
stuff that happened.
we got to always remember that. We got to always remember white people do lie.
Yeah.
That's we got to always put that into the equation when it comes to interacting and any kind of interaction between, particularly a black man and a um, black man and a white woman, all the way down to the if we even remember history from the so-called kissing game. Have you guys heard of the two little boys who were arrested back in the 50s, which some white girl kissed some young little black boys, and they were put into reform school till they were 18, 9, some young kids. So we can never forget that.
I get that.
I'm not forgetting it. All I'm saying is the fact that look was where I mean, okay, so you can take the white women out of it. We can go back to
you can't take white women out of it.
Hold on a second. We're gonna go back to Pudding Pop Man. Was Wendy Williams lying?
Pudding Pop Man.
Say what now?
She's not white.
Excuse me.
Wendy Williams had issues to say about Pill Bill. That's what she called him.
Did you say was Wendy Williams lying?
Well, yeah, she had issues with him. I can't remember the exact.
Wait, Wendy? Wait, Bill Cosby raped Wendy Williams?
I did not say that he raped her, but I know she said that you're gonna have to go
again.
Felicia Rashad, I'm disappointed when you are complicit in that he.
Well, we're talking about Wendy Williams and innuendos, and that's her whole background is spreading gossip and
yeah, that's her money.
So
all kind of messy.
She has some encounters with him. Now I don't know if they were.
So her credibility is not that great. That's what I'm saying.
That's like Alex Jones. What's that guy from InfoWars? I mean, she's an entertainer. That's what she gets money off of being, bringing that type of controversy. So I don't put her.
Everybody's wrong.
No, but I care more about voices like ours or voices like everyday people who grew up.
What are we saying? Is everybody when it comes to Cosby?
Yeah, when it comes
to Cosby, when people are trying to get a check, I don't trust a lot of those folks who are just making up stuff.
I mean, I don't like that when you guys, especially the men on this platform, when it comes to it's like we're making up or we're to be disbelieved. I think we should be of the position of this is what they brought to the table in terms of what they said happened to them. And let's figure out if realistically, in any kind of circumstance, would an average person be in that circumstance?
I want to hope that I looked at it objectively. Objectively speaking, just looking at it, just facts on the table. When I reviewed the Kobe and that woman accusations, I had to look at what happened that night. And I remember they kept saying she had sex with multiple people, right? And then you only accuse the richest guy out of the bunch. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I hate to say it. That's an issue with me.
But she wasn't a wealthy woman. She wasn't an established
woman. That's the point.
They didn't say that. They did not say if she was a call girl or if anything like that was attached.
Well, why did she accuse Kobe and not the other guy she had sex with for abuse?
Well,
they didn't assault her. Has it
Well,
ever?
how you know? Why didn't she accuse the first guy she had sex with a couple of hours ago of abuse for Kobe?
You're asking me to call to the state of her mind why she didn't.
No. I guess my point is her credibility kind of got messed up with the whole thing in my mind as far as me believing her. I'm just my personal opinion.
Okay, so let's bring up Tiger Woods
Who?
because you see Tiger Woods. I don't
Tiger?
know.
Oh my God,
Should have
Tiger
never got
Woods.
married.
Come on now.
Tiger
Why
should
we
just
bringing
never
up
got
Tiger Woods
married.
and rape shit? I mean stuff. Sorry.
Look, y'all don't have to like it.
Wait, Tiger Woods didn't rape nobody?
Okay.
Tiger Woods did not rape anybody. Why are we bringing up Tiger Woods?
Did you not read some of the reports that came out? They were like, this guy, he's off the chain.
Yeah. What's the
Because they didn't.
Tiger Woods didn't rape nobody. He cheated on his wife.
Just,
That's a whole different thing.
just because he was not convicted or accused, there was this air of suspicion around how he behaved in the
Tiger Woods?
Yeah, somebody's
No,
wrong.
there was
I ain't read
no
nothing
one's
about
ever
that. I never read that.
no one's there was
Okay,
never any. Yeah, it was all about him just cheating on his wife.
that's
Cheated
not
on his wife.
It was more
Period.
about him cheating on his
Yeah,
wife.
come on
There
now.
was there was never any allegations about him
Ladies,
forcing
why are you
himself
guys attacking black men on this
on a woman
platform? That's what I want to know.
hold on. Hold on. Just
assaulting women
because they
sexually.
didn't bring
Only-
the
The only thing
allegation,
that
remember they
and
said
this is a
that
spin on white media
Come
again,
on
doing
now.
something again.
dog me.
Yeah, come on now.
Dog me. They said some of the women were talking about how he was acting really crazy.
Oh, come on. Come on. We can't do that tonight. We can't do that tonight.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Because
No, we
see,
can't.
also, yes, we can. Because he
Okay,
is a sports
what
figure.
what
That says
what you can accuse Tiger Woods of
But
is
what you're
cheating on
saying,
his wife,
Come
and
on.
that's what.
but are you
Yeah.
saying, but I guess, okay, so I don't know anything about Tiger Woods, but are you saying that Tiger Woods cheated on his wife and all Kobe did was cheated on his wife, and so they're in the same bucket
Yeah.
because they just
We
really
had
cheated
turned
on
Bo
the
has
wife?
turned into the something one of the letter alphabet shows.
Not
Let's not talk
so.
about Tiger.
So
Look,
so I'll say to my knowledge, Tiger's issue was he cheated on his wife with a whole bunch of women.
Exactly. Because
He
he's a
should. To me, that's what that's the most. That's all I know about Tiger. I felt like he should have never got married in the first place for what he was doing.
Right.
But
Right. He was
outside
too
of
young.
that, I don't know that he's ever been accused. I don't know if there's ever been anything about him mistreating or anything like that. I don't have an opinion on that because I don't know. All I know
Well,
is he cheated on his wife.
What about
He got it.
he
right?
has never been accused. Let's just write that off the back. He's never
Hold
been
up.
accused.
Say that. I didn't.
Is Russell
Who?
Simmons a bad guy? I'm just asking questions because see, all of these people are, high.
So who you said? Russell Simmons and who else?
Dr. Dre. There's a lot of stuff that's been out
Yeah.
on Dr. Dre just
Oh,
because.
yeah, you say Dre got a history
Dre
of
is a
beating
different
on
story.
women
That
and
dude's
all
a wife
kinds of
beater.
stuff. Yeah,
Wait,
Yeah.
why is he a wife beater?
because he
Or-
did it.
Dr.
He
Dre whipped
admitted
his
to doing
his
it.
wife. He beat his wife multiple times. That's a fact. Y'all don't know that?
I know.
I don't know that.
I know he beat
Has-
Michelle.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. By your definition, and I'm just asking because I honestly don't know. Has he been accused in court?
He admitted
Doctor,
it.
yeah, he admitted it.
Yeah.
And his wife. That's a fact. Those are called facts.
But wait a second. The facts are Bill Cosby was convicted in 2018, but because the technicality of the unsealing of the court, the
Right.
or whatever, it was vacated in 2021.
Mhm.
But I agree with that. I'm
I'm not saying I disagree, but it doesn't mean he didn't do it.
It
It's
doesn't
just
mean he didn't.
court ruled that it is vacated.
Legally, he didn't do it, although we know physically he did it. Bill Cosby.
He did it, and Bill
we know
Cosby,
he did what he did.
yes, he admitted that he did it. But that was the sealed paperwork. What I agree with is that you can't unseal somebody. You can't go into agreement with a person and then unseal it just because you feel that he said the wrong thing to an audience and then take his life away for that. To me, that
We're all in agreement with. Well, I presume we're all in agreement with that. I don't know. Maybe people. I think everyone on this panel is in agreement with that.
Yeah.
Sure.
I circle back to. I'm going to bring up the third question. Why is this topic so divisive?
Because we want our
Who?
heroes in our community, and I feel like
Who
they
got
just keep on
convicted in
bullying them.
2018?
Cosby.
Bill, Pudding Pop Man.
Yeah, stop calling that dude Pudding Pop Man.
Oh,
Well, we're gonna call him
No,
the
remember
Jello
what
Man.
happened to the Constitution was violated. He was violated. No, he did not. He admitted
Well,
to no. He admitted no. Did you guys read the his
I think Michael Jackson can be in this
did not
conversation.
he admitted to say what now?
I said I think Michael Jackson can be in this conversation, but now when you mentioned
We're all in
Tiger,
agreement with
I
what?
didn't know anything about Tiger. I thought of the other side of Kobe. Honestly, when you mentioned Tiger, it made me think, well, maybe all he did was
We're
cheat
in
on
agreement
his wife.
with what?
No, I'm just saying in our discussion, honestly, when Asia mentioned Tiger, it made me kind of look a little broad.
Cosby admitted to giving the
Quaaludes.
women consensual the drugs. They knew what the drugs did or whatever. So, and then the fact that he had an agreement with the court that they weren't going to prosecute him, and then the next DA came in and got elected.
Your audio is so bad. Like I can only hear like every 5 words. Are you there?
Yeah, it sounds like he's in and out a bit.
Yeah, I can't tell what he's saying. I mean, I want to hear what he's saying, but I literally can't hear it.
Yeah, so it's I don't know. I think you got to look at every situation, and kind of individually. Like I said, with Tiger, I just felt like, hey man, you cheated on your wife. That's between you and your wife. You got to deal with that. As far as I know, I haven't heard or read anything about him doing anything illegal, just immoral. So hey, that's between you, your wife, and your maker when you meet him. He
admitted to giving poison.
And I totally agree with you guys. I'm just saying that when she put that analogy up there, I kind of felt like, well, maybe we are giving
you talking to me?
a hard. No, when Asia put the when she put the scenario with Tiger into the defense, you guys were like, oh, he just cheated on his wife. I've never heard anything about Tiger. I'm going to say that.
I heard the reports that came out and they were talking about how he was extremely rough with some of these ladies, that some people were a little bit scared, like because of the way he was behaving in the bedroom. So, I just leave it there. I mean, people want to say, oh no, they want to like brush it under the table because it's Tiger. There's no accusation.
Well, and the men we're talking about are very wealthy and very powerful.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's hard to say in that atmosphere what's going on. There's a lot of people involved, a lot of, PR that's going on to correct. It's even, I mean, I'm not mentioning this with rape, but even with the hitting of
R word.
huh?
We can't say the R word because I think they try to. I mean, I think we let that one go, but we gotta not try to say another word. It's like R word.
Well, with sexual assault, it just puts it in another viewpoint that there is just cheating, and a woman gets mad.
Wait, he was rough. Was a lady?
We can't hear
you.
That's
not what some of these ladies want.
These guys, we can barely tell what you're saying. We're getting like every 5 words or something.
We heard rough, and that's what these ladies want.
Nah,
about rough and what the ladies want. I can't tell what he's saying. I mean, look, I'm not saying the women don't want something else. I'm not saying any of those things. All I was
say what?
because all I really wanted to know was for the third question is why is this topic so divisive? Why do people get so riled up when they see? Oh, did I get rid of it? Let me bring it. When I'm such a. I'm a
I mean,
people.
to answer the question, I think it's just because of just what we've seen just on today. Is like some, everybody, most people are either on one side of the fence or the other. They believe this person's guilty. They did it. There's no doubt about it. And then other people believe, no, there's no way that this happened, or, this woman's lying or whatever. And it just creates that natural
Well, see,
conflict. That
well,
conflict.
I think more of the issue is when you make accusations and you have no evidence, and we're just saying, "Hey, this such happened," and you're just making an accusation with no kind of proof, nothing, and it's something that happened years ago. There's no kind of evidence that you can present, and especially we're talking about guys who have a lot of zeros in their bank accounts. That these are opportunities for some women try to just get paid on the back end, so to try to just settle, get some kind of settlement. It's not a coincidence that particularly when it came to Bill Cosby, a lot of these women were aligned with Gloria Allred, who has a history of doing this kind of extortion tactic.
I
I think
just
it's
said 3 minutes.
divisive. I think it's
So
divisive
what?
because love
Huh?
we love all these entertainers. I love all these entertainers. I love Kobe. I love R. Kelly. I love Bill Cosby. I think it just shakes you up the wrong way, and you want to come to the defense, and then more evidence and more evidence and more things come out, and you're like, oh, I'm trying to be Team Bill,
No,
but
but we have evidence. Just because you said something happened doesn't mean that
no.
it did. You need to
Bill
have
Cosby actually happened. He actually said, I mean, she
What is
should
wrong with you?
fill the paperwork, but it actually happened. With Kobe, I don't know if he
a
raped her or not.
no. What happened?
I'm sorry.
Cosby actually had sex with a woman who agreed to have sex with him and also engage in having drugs. So, I mean, uh, uh, again, there was really, I mean, if you look at it, it was all about her getting paid. That's why they settled. That's why they was trying to get paid. Why he was let go because he was had an agreement with the state of Pennsylvania.
I think it's tarnished Bill's legacy. I don't know about the others. I think R. Kelly is still going through it. He still has two more court
Well,
dates in different
and
states. I don't.
He, R. Kelly gonna be
well,
under the
again, I
jail, so
think
it
that
don't
was
even
by
matter.
design to do that.
And you could be
Say it
right.
again
You
now.
could be right. I don't know if you're right or not. I just know that for me, it was somebody that I looked up to. I watched, and I tried to consume as much as possible. But why it's so divisive is
Again,
because,
okay. What's what it comes down to? It's sad what happened. No, what comes down to it's sad either way that his legacy was tarnished.
well, he
It was
only has
tarnished
himself
because
to
of
he
some folks
has
saw him
himself
as a
to
big
hold
fish,
accountable.
to either for the prosecutor or them trying to get paid. So
I don't know
that's
if
the
that's the
bottom line.
case. I
And you
just
can't
don't really
prove
know if
you
that's.
can't prove something without
Does Pudding Pop Man
say it
have a
again now.
Does Pudding Pop Man have a legacy? Are we gonna like? Are we gonna erase his legacy and everybody's legacy?
I mean, I don't think you
I
can
think
erase it, but
we shouldn't erase his legacy because of what he's done and the work that he's put in. I think if we look at particularly Bill Cosby, I like to make the case for Bill Cosby over the last few years, particularly in the last 20 years. This man has been going through a lot of loss. Well, particularly, he's never been the same after his
Bill Cosby went in jail
son
once,
was
came
killed.
out. So I don't know.
Uh,
yeah.
and that's
I mean,
really never been
I'm just
explain the situation about his son because it was so odd.
so I will. I mean, I'm kind of reading. I'm
And
as we.
ever since that he was never felt it was never the same. Say it again. Okay, this
So
is what I'm
now
gonna say. I don't
I
believe
was just
any of it.
saying. I
And
was just saying
go what
I mean I was saying with Cosby. I'm kind of reading as
go
we
ahead.
go
What'd you
along,
say, Kat?
and no, I was saying with the Bill Cosby thing. I'm kind of reading as we go along, and it's actually stated that the earliest allegations against him date back to 1965. And then in 2005, somebody did an interview that was never published where they accused Cosby. Oh, I'm sorry, 96. Some Playboy playmate gave an interview which was never published where she accused Bill Cosby of sexual assault. So this it's more than just. It looks like it's more than just you know what happened in the last 20 or 30 years. But again,
But
I don't.
say
I don't.
it means makes it more so. Once these other people win, they knew they could get paid. Also, if you notice, some of those people who made those accusations were later out found to be proven that they were lying. Like one of the ladies who said she was at the Playboy Club, and when they traced back that Cosby wasn't even in the same
But
city. He was touring somewhere else. And as a matter of fact, back to this whole case, she got on the stand, and she even admitted to lying. And she said put in the book because it was a good read. It would make good press or whatever.
Bill
So
Cosby
you
has
know,
admitted to putting
again,
quaaludes in
I
women's
question
drink
any
to
of those
have
women,
sex.
particularly the ones who were hired. Say it again.
I said Bill Cosby said that he put in his statement when he was making his statement to the court, he said that he put quaaludes in women's drink to have sex with them because he didn't want them to
Right, but
remember.
some of those, but
But what? I don't understand.
I don't see either. He admitted it.
Like I feel like I gotta be here with all you guys
no,
watching
the
for
one
you
women
guys
that
to
he
say.
gave that to, they
You can't. I refuse to believe that you don't think
no
he did.
read that again. You need to read his statement again. What he said. I refuse to believe what now.
I refuse to believe that you think he did not do anything wrong to these women. The fact that you are giving women quaaludes and they don't know.
I believe no. I believe he had sex with these women. I believe they had sex with these women, and some of these and the women knew about having quaaludes. They agreed to that.
All right. I mean,
They were
because
partying,
there's really
particularly
nothing.
back in the '70s. That was a drug of choice. Quaaludes.
So you think the women
They were
wanted
pop.
to, you think women wanted to not know what was happening to them. They wanted to have no memory. They wanted to
I
wake
think
up.
some women wanted to have some. I
You
think
think
some women
you think
wanted to have an
hold
experiment, and
on, hold
was
on. You
playing around
think
with drugs, just like you have women who
stop.
snuff who
And
smoke
bumping
weed and
the
have drugs while they
no,
have
you're not
sex.
pick
Prime
off
example.
me.
Let me give
No,
you
no,
another
no, no, no.
example. No.
No, hold on, wait a second. Hold on, wait a second. I want to make sure I'm clear. You think women wanted to wake up with no memory, with some man bumping and grinding on it. I understand.
I don't know that. Wait. If they had no memory, if they had
You,
no memory, then why are they pressing charges? They saying they remembered what happened.
I didn't say all of them said they lost their memory, but what I'm saying is there was like 60 something, I think, and I don't know the exact number. I don't remember the exact number. I think it was
No,
like
they were
68.
having drugs and sex. They were having drugs and sex and engaging in that kind of activity. Just like if y'all remember when they set up Marion Barry, the woman who set him up. Remember the first thing she asked him to do because she was there at the hotel to have sex with him, but she was the one who insisted on trying to have
Hey,
have drugs too.
can't fight
So
the
she's the
Mary
one
and
who
Barry.
and pushed him like, let's go. Say it again.
This is the thing. This is the reason why.
Do you guys remember that?
This is the
The
reason
woman
why.
was she was the one who insisted on
This is
him
the
smoking
reason.
first before they got busy.
Look, this is the reason why women don't report a lot of stuff. Now, I know.
Okay.
I know. Now I want you to listen because see, like I'm gonna be honest. Like to me, this like rubs me a little bit, right? Like everybody's entitled to an opinion, but when you know people who've been through some things, and I know some of the crazy stuff that's happened to me. Now I haven't had the R word. What I am gonna say is when you know, and I'm talking facts, stuff that has happened, and people dismiss that. Oh, she must have wanted it. Well, she was out drinking. I saw her flirting with this man.
Okay. Can can we also admit this? There are some women that lie.
But you're saying all of them.
Can
All
we
of
admit
them
that
want it
too?
to be done and to lose their memory. Come on.
But and so I think this leads goes back to your question: why is this topic so divisive?
Well,
Um,
first, before we can go there, wait, no, look, before we go there, are we agreeing that some women lie? Are we agreeing to that first? Because I didn't even hear an agreement on that.
Yes, we agree that human beings lie, women and men. Women lie, yes.
And so do men.
so no,
Oh, see, there we go. We are we saying that there's some women that lie, right? We agree on that, right?
You want us to
Okay.
co-sign
Well,
or
Hold
not?
on.
no.
Because,
What?
and are we saying?
hold on. Because this is what's getting ready to
And
happen.
so, are we also saying?
This,
So
this is
it's
old
hard to prove
tactic.
something if you.
This is the old tactic because what you're doing now is you're going down that road of trying to prove a straw man argument. You're proving an argument that wasn't even an argument. That is the definition of a straw
What
man.
that
And we're
argument
gonna
about?
thing. Look, that's not even the topic that some women lie. I mean, of course,
What
we can say some
straw
men
man
lie.
argument?
But
I'm
I'm
asking
saying
a question.
you were not going to have a straw man argument.
Y'all are funny.
That's the definition of a straw man argument is when you argue something to prove a point that was
The
never even the argument. That is the definition of a straw man.
Yeah,
So we
so
gotta be intellectually honest. Because
so
if that's
I'm
the case, we can ask all kinds of questions like that,
right.
right?
Let's
so
first
I'm
agree on
It's
that since we've seen it. All
on.
no so I'm
The real question was, why is this divisive? But now the
it's
ultimate question is, can you separate legacy from problematic behavior? That's why the topic was alleged problematic
yeah.
behavior.
So here's the thing. So you know if you have any level of I would say emotional intelligence, you can separate the two. But
okay,
I
but
would say
I
I would say
addressed it.
the
I said
reason.
bottom line. No, but the bottom line when it comes to Bill Cosby, his his legacy has been tarnished. No, his legacy was tarnished either way because either somebody lied or something happened. So it's either way it's tarnished, and you
Right.
can't prove a lot of women because they said something happened 40 and 30 years and 50 years ago, and you can't prove like okay, there's no evidence, and so, and then a lot of those folks are jumping on the bandwagon. Oh yeah, I can get paid too. I saw Cosby and this, that, and the other, and he gave me some wine, and I felt woozy. So, you have a lot of that happened afterwards.
Well, so I think it goes back to I can't remember who said it earlier, but these are powerful men with a lot of money, with a lot of commas in their bank accounts. That's why the topic is so divisive, because we know people in those positions can be targets. So we tend when some regardless of how we feel about it, when somebody accuses a person in that position, we immediately get skeptical of the accuser. Like, what is your motive? Did this really happen, or is this a money grab? So I think that's why I'm sure that's why it's so divisive. Because to be I'm taking R. Kelly out of it. We know he did what he did. We saw him on tape. So forget about him. But when I'm talking about Bill Cosby, Kobe Bryant, or some of the other, or any other people where it's kind of questionable whether something questionable as to what happened, it immediately becomes, is this a money grab? Like, so I was looking through Kobe's case, And ultimately the woman didn't, she refused to participate in the trial. But in the end, she settled out for $2.5 million in a civil case. So then it makes you raise your eyebrow, like, hey, was this a money grab all along, or this was your end goal, or did something really happen to you? And only two people that know, and one of them
Not
is
like a
dead.
money grab to
So
me.
yeah, it's always, so I'm not, I don't believe he did it, but I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibility that he did. But at the end of the day, the only two people know, and one of them's not here anymore. So,
And I
but I think,
and I think that's all women want to hear from men, that it's not outside the possibility. It's great talking with these Shabazz, but it's like everybody is no, no, nope, 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 nope. And I'm like, okay, but then what? So you're
You said
saying
everybody is no.
no, no, you're saying everybody is out for this. Everybody, every single thing can be explained away, instead of just digging deeper and saying, okay, this is what it is. This is what it is. These are very wealthy, influential people. They could be great or they could be bad. They could be both, but I mean, it's really up to us to really look deeper. It's up to every individual person, and not typecast these women and not typecast these men. But I mean, there's a lot of power here. I just don't know what you do with that much power when you're saying something against it. So I don't know.
I've been in situations where I've had men threaten me and tell me things like, "You don't know who I am," and
Did
I don't know.
Did Bill Cosby have any power in the '60s? Let's be honest.
Well, hold on a second. I want to finish what I'm saying, and I
What
don't want
power did
this
Bill
to.
Cosby really
It's,
have?
you're not going to big dog me, right? Listen, we're all here. Listen, I have been in a situation where someone tried to threaten me and tell me about how much power he has. Now, I want you to catch that for a second. I know what it's like to be in places by myself and people threaten you. And I'm not going to deep dive into that. What I am going to say is, I know what it's like when people say things, and if you don't comply, they make it difficult in your job situation. And these are facts. These are facts. It's not outside of the realm of possibility that those things could have happened to those women. And I am not actually saying that they did it. The real question was, can we separate the legacy from the problematic behavior? That was the real question. My concern was not necessarily that we wanted to go down the rabbit hole of, some of these people are lying. Well, everybody lies, men and women, white and black, rich and poor. Rich people lie because maybe they have something to lose. Poor people lie because they have something to gain. That wasn't even the question, right? The question was, can we separate the legacy of what they've done? You got Pudding Pop Man and everything he's done that he's brought to culture. You've got Kobe Bryant, everything he has left out there in the world of sport. You've got R. Kelly and his musicality and his genius. In my opinion, he's a genius. We can go with Bishop Eddie Long. We can go with we can name all kinds of people out there, right? But can we separate their problematic behavior with their legacy? That's the real question. And it becomes difficult when you look at Pudding Pop Man, America's Dad, right? It gets
yeah.
tough.
See, I don't know. It's just me. It's not hard for me, because I'm like, you did. It's not hard for me to separate to really look at the two and separate them. I don't think it should be that hard for anybody. Just people aren't willing. But the reality is, like I said, that, a lot of people helped benefited whatever from things that man's done over the course of 40 or 50 years of his career, 60 years of his career, however long, his career dates back to the 60s. So you're talking, 60 something years. But, you can't, that's something you can't deny. Now, of course, because of all this stuff that's happened, whenever somebody says his name, they're going to immediately think about this case. They're not going to think about all of the good stuff. They're just going to immediately think about the bad. So is the legacy tarnished? Absolutely. But can you separate the legacy from the bad behavior? You should be able to. And I don't know why you why.
I hope so. Well, I mean, so look, I know it's getting late, so I wanted to make sure that we didn't go too long. We're like about 10 or 15 minutes past our ending time. I was hoping he would be able to get back on and say goodbye. But look, let me see. Where am I? I don't have any more things. If you like the content, go ahead and like it. Hit the subscribe button.
Like, share, subscribe, comment, make the commitment.
Yeah, yeah. People like to look at this like a few days later, and all of a sudden I get views on this one. But anyway, all right. Do you guys have any parting comments, words, thoughts? It was a good discussion. We'll
I
eat it.
Great discussion, and I think it's great for our community and our culture to reevaluate and reassess after all these things have come to pass and kind of died down a little bit. Well, R. Kelly's is still going, but after and come and assess how these things affected us or what our viewpoint is. I think that's one of the things that make our culture our culture interesting is because our people make such an impact, and then it's like when it goes left, it goes all the way left, and we're left here with nobody to talk to it about afterwards, nobody to just conversate and talk to and dig through this stuff and say, well, this didn't continue, the Kobe case didn't continue, or Bill's case went this way, or so I think it's a great topic, and I would like to see more of topics like these that let us fully, come full circle with these men and appreciate them and their, environment that they grew up with, but unappreciate them in the environment of them being human and their mistakes.
I get it. I mean, I will say this before we sign off. I believe it's tough. I do think the legacy can be separated. I still see the pudding pop man. What he's done, like a lot, I know, but he's done a lot of good. But I see him as a flawed man. That is a flawed man. I do believe he did take advantage of women. I see the musical genius of R. Kelly, but he's disgusting. He's a nasty
Dirty dude.
and and to be honest, in fairness to Kobe, and I picked it because I knew people were going to be like, "Oh hell no, not Kobe." Honestly, look, I think his legacy is what it is. I think it has been solidified. He has not been convicted of any wrongdoing. But when you say Kobe, people are like, "Oh, Kobe." Do I think anything is possible? I surely do, but I don't really have any smoke for Kobe, to be honest. But it made for good conversation. Um, but yeah, I think Bill Cosby is a tough one, but it is what it is. So, but all right, let me get ready to sign off for here because it's late. Thank you, Kenzie. Thank you,
Time
TV.
for a nap.
Thank you, JC. Thank you, Disha Bass. He's probably mad at me. I'm going to text him later. If he mad at me, well, you're not
Love
going to
him.
Oh, I love that guy. He's too cool for school, but he's just better. He just needs to not be mad. So, all right. See
All
you
right.
guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.